I'm the awesome tutor, and today we're going to be looking at treating kidney disease. Now, kidney disease, how does this happen? You only need one kidney. One kidney can do the job of cleansing your blood. You have two kidneys in case one of them fails. But if both kidney fails, then you have a problem. Untreated failure of both kidneys can lead to death because toxins build up, like urea, which obviously are poisonous, and salt and water balance is upset. It's not balanced anymore. So it creates chaos in your body. You have two solutions: dialysis or kidney transplant. Dialysis is cleansing the blood through a dialysis machine, which we will look at next. A kidney transplant is replacing the diseased kidney with a healthy one from a donor. So let's look at dialysis. Okay, so here we have a dialysis machine. Let's go through it. So, blood is removed. Here's arterial blood from the arteries, and it is passed along a pump. The pump keeps the blood flowing. Here we have a blood thinner, and this blood thinner stops the blood from clotting. We don't want the blood to clot. And then the blood passes into this main part of the dialysis machine. This blue stuff is what we call the dialysis fluid. And the dialysis fluid comes in here, and it comes out here containing the waste, the urea, and the excess ions in water. Because what happens here is basically this thing is what mimics the process of the kidney. The waste substances and the excess substances are passed from the blood into the dialysis fluid, which we will look at more in detail later. Then the blood passes through here, which is a bubble trap. And this bubble trap, stops bubbles. So, then it goes back here into the veins. Now let's look at this in more detail. Okay, so this process can be quite confusing, so please just focus and listen. Here we have the dialysis fluid coming in, and the dialysis fluid coming out with the urea and the waste products. So how does this happen? How does the waste products and excess ions in water move from the blood to the dialysis fluid? Well, we have a semi-permeable membrane between the blood and between the dialysis fluid. Semi-permeable membrane. And the dialysis fluid, it contains the normal plasma levels of your ions, of your water, of your glucose. Why? Because this whole process depends on diffusion. And diffusion is the net movement of particles from a high concentration to a low concentration. So, here we can see we have the same concentration of water on the blood and in the dialysis fluid, the same concentration of ions, the same concentration of glucose in the blood and in the dialysis fluid, so that you don't lose the useful substances by diffusion. So that's what contains the normal plasma levels. You don't want to lose the glucose, you don't want to lose ions, you don't want to lose water, unless the water and ions and glucose are in excess. So then there is too much, in which case there'll be more here than here, so then they will move to the dialysis fluid. Okay? Now, as you can see, the dialysis fluid has no urea. Why does it have no urea? So the concentration gradient is steep. Steep concentration gradient. Because here we have urea in high concentration, and there's no urea here. So that means the concentration gradient is steep. That means the urea, by diffusion, will move from high concentration from the blood to a low concentration in the dialysis fluid. So all the urea here will move to the dialysis fluid. And that's what you want, to remove the urea, because it's poisonous. Okay? And as I said, if the water and the ions and the glucose are in excess, then they will also move. But if they're not, if they're normal levels, we don't want to lose them. So that's why dialysis fluid contains the normal plasma levels of these substances. So you don't lose useful substances, but you lose the waste urea, because you don't want that. So, is that it? So, once the urea has moved from here to here, then there will be no concentration gradient, because then the urea will level out. That is why we keep refreshing the dialysis fluid. It comes in, goes out. It has to keep, the flow of dialysis fluid has to be maintained. Okay, keep refreshing the dialysis fluid, so then we maintain the concentration gradient. If it's not refreshed, then the concentration gradient will be messed up. So we have to maintain it by dialysis fluid coming in with the normal stuff, then coming out with the waste urea. And it keeps refreshing, refreshing, refreshing. And that is basically the process of dialysis. And now we're going to move on to kidney transplant, which is less confusing. Okay, so kidney transplants is replacing the diseased kidney with a healthy one from a donor. And the donor kidney is joined to your blood vessels and the bladder, but in the groin. So, you leave the old kidneys alone up here, but you put the donor kidney lower down in the groin and join it with the blood vessels so that blood can come in and out, and you join it to the bladder so that the waste can go away. Now, one kidney can balance your blood chemistry and remove waste urea for a lifetime, so you only need one kidney donor. But there is one big problem with kidney donors, and that is rejection. This is all to do with your antigens. Now, antigens are unique proteins on the cell surface. They are unique to your body. So if you get a donor from somebody else and put that in your body, the antigens will be completely different. They do not have the same genetic material. So there is a risk that the immune system will do something about this. Okay? That donor with different antigens from your own body will make the donor be seen as foreign. And so the immune system, there is a risk that the antibodies will attack the antigens on the donor organ because they are foreign, they are not of your body. So there is a risk. Therefore, it will be rejected and it will be destroyed. And so, if you do not fix the rejection problem, a kidney transplant is useless. There are two solutions to this. So, how do you deal with rejection? The antigen match must be made as close as possible. This is your first solution. So, get a donor kidney that has antigens that are very similar to your own, so then less likely to be rejected, i.e. from your parents. Or if you have an identical twin, identical genetic information, identical antigens, it will not be rejected because the same exact antigens as your own body. Immunosuppressant drugs. Immunosuppressant drugs, they suppress your immune response. So your immune system does not respond and attack that foreign substance, does not attack the donor because the antigens are seen as foreign. But you must take it for the rest of your life. And if you are suppressing your immune response, your immune system, you are suppressing it, what does your immune system do? It protects you against pathogens, it protects you against disease. So if you suppress it, you will not be able to deal effectively with pathogens. So you will get sick a lot. And obviously the average kidney transplant lasts for about 9 years. And it's of course identical genetic match, blah, blah, blah. But now we're going to move on to the advantages and disadvantages and comparing the kidney transplant with dialysis. Okay, so kidney transplants. There is always a shortage of donors. There is not enough donors for every person who has kidney disease. But obviously with dialysis, there is no shortage because, dialysis machines. No donors. Kidney transplants. The patient can lead a normal life. Unless, of course, the antigens do not match, in which case you have to take immunosuppressant drugs for the rest of your life. So you can still lead a relatively normal life compared to dialysis because you need frequent treatments and a strict diet so that you reduce the production of urea and you reduce your salt and mineral ions intake, so then you have less in excess. And obviously both of them are expensive, but kidney transplant is only expensive initially because when you get a transplant it's expensive, but then you don't have to pay for anything else unless you're taking immunosuppressant drugs. Dialysis, it's expensive in the long term. Each treatment will cost you something. That's it. This has been the Awesome Tutor. Bye!